welcome back out to the shop. It's been a couple weeks, but I'm pleased to announce it looks like my day job employment's going to be secure for the next few years. So we went ahead and signed an agreement with our employer, and everything's looking good there. So the money we've been squirreling away, we're good to go. We went ahead and ordered stuff for the jib crane. As you can tell, the I-beam, the trolley, base plate material, the post is in the back already, is here. The only thing my steel supplier didn't have was the angle iron, which is where the hinges mount on. They didn't have any of that for some reason. It's kind of weird. So we ordered it online. It'll be here tomorrow. So the plans for today anyway, until it gets too hot, is to go ahead and drill and cut the base plate for the top and the bottom of the post. So I plan to get that done today. Maybe get the I-beam cut up into the lengths I need before my brother shows up so he can weld it. He's recovering nicely from a shoulder surgery. I talked to him this morning, and if he gets bored, I told him just to swing on by. So and we might even do an unboxing of his Lincoln TIG welder that he has. He bought it on a special a few months ago when they were selling the big 250 GXT gas-powered welder. If you bought that, you got a TIG welder free with it. Well, we're probably going to use the TIG welder and use the stick function to weld all this together. He has some 70-18 rods. I have some 70-18 rods. So, we're going to burn it in hot because, he says, and I believe him, that, MIG welder just doesn't have the penetrating capability for structural stuff, which I probably agree with. He's the boss on that stuff, so I'll agree with him. So we got that. I started cleaning up some of the rods that go on the front of the lathe. I got the one of the feed rods done for that. It cleaned up nicely. So what else we got going on? If you follow the Business of Machining, John Saunders and John Grimsmo's podcast, they had a thing on there about the myth of the torque wrenches, whether they hold torque if you leave them set over lengths of time. Well, just so happens during my day job, that is probably one of my main functions, is to calibrate, or I shouldn't say calibrate, certify all of our torque wrenches. And we have clicker wrenches, DC tools, cordless pulse tools, or air pulse tools. We have a couple cordless pulse tools. Just all kinds of torque equipment that has to be certified every 6 months. So I know what the answer is to it, but because I do it every day. But a lot of people didn't know, and there's a big miss, and I didn't even think about it, but I do it here in my own shop. So my torque wrenches, when I'm done, I always unwind them and store them back to zero. And then when they were talking about it on the podcast, I got to thinking, I said, why do I do that? I have no idea, So the wrenches that we have are pretty, they're specifically made for that. So I got one of our just standard adjustable proto torque wrenches and set it for 85 foot-pounds, which is what he uses on his vices. And we have a piece of machinery that captures all that data. And so I'm going to started capturing data for 30 days, and I think we're halfway through it. And I'll just send all that information to John, and if he wants to share it, he'll share it. If not, he won't. But if you don't listen to the Business of Machining podcast, you should. It's pretty good. It's a good conversation between two friends that are that started a business. And it's I look at it that, you take away what you want from it. It's just an interesting podcast. So, but I thought I'd share that with you. If he doesn't say anything, I'll post the results after I send it to him. I know what they are because I've been doing it for a few years. But, a lot of people don't do this for a living, handle torque wrenches. I'd say, just in the clicker type wrenches, golly, we got to have well over 1,000, I'd say, of clicker wrenches, not including all the electric stuff that we have and the air-powered stuff. So I'm pretty confident in saying, the results are going to be fairly accurate. So anyway, that's enough of that. Went to the flea market last weekend and did a little scrounging around and come upon a few things. These right here. I just happened into a kitchen store, and they had these stainless steel strainer baskets for $5. These mesh ones were $5. The screen ones were $3. So I bought a few of them. I said those would be great to put in small parts, nuts and bolts and stuff inside the porch washer. I'll just hook some stainless cable to it or some steel cable to it so we can retrieve it without my hands getting into that purple power, because it takes the oil off of everything, including your skin. So anyway, I picked these up, and then while I was there, I run across a gentleman who had a fairly new set of, I don't know whether they're Central Machinery or Centroid or whatever, they were micrometers, new in a case. And he wanted $70 for it. And I already have a set of inexpensive ones that I use. And so I didn't really want that. Well, I got to scrummage around, and in the bottom of a box, I saw this sitting in there. And it wasn't quite as clean as this one is now, as it is. I've cleaned it up a little bit. But it was, didn't know the brand, but it looked like a Starrett. And after I cleaned it up, it is a Starrett. It's a model 226. And I asked him how much he wanted for that. And he gave me a price, and it was fair. I was going to pay it. No questions asked. But I started looking around a little more, and then I run across this one, and still in that same drawer. And this is a Starrett number 2. So, and it's, you know, pretty grungy. But everything still functions on it. It turns, you know, it's a little stiff, but it's not bad. And then I asked how much he wanted for that, and you know, he said, and still another good price, and I'd happily paid that. And then I see a little bit farther down in there, I saw this, and this is a Brown and Sharp number 10, and this one works very well. No stick to it at all. It turns really easy, and I asked him how much he wanted for that, you know, and I'm still going to pay the price that he wanted. And then I laid them all back down at the end, and then he said, I'll tell you what, you give me $40 for everything, and you can have them, which is, I was, you know, tried to hide my enthusiasm, let's put it that way. And then I happened to pick this up, which I really don't know what it is. It's some kind of, I thought it was one of those Starrett, planer gauges. And it you know, there's no name on it, not exactly sure what it is. It might have been shop built, I kind of doubt it. But I'm gonna clean it up, maybe I can find a name on it. And I picked that up just looking at it. I wasn't even gonna buy it. And he said, I'll tell you what, everything for $40. I couldn't turn that down. So more micrometers to the collection. I mean, what can you do, you know? They just happened to fall on my lap. I know how, you know, Adam Booth always goes out to these yard sales and stuff, and if you watched his last video, you know, he's got some scores. So I just happened to look up and see this in the bottom of a drawer, and I think he thought they were not the good expensive kind, you know, and I happily paid what he asked for it, you know, no questions asked. So anyway, I thought I'd share that with you. So let's see what else. I think that's it in the shop. We're contemplating putting an air conditioner in, because right now it's still probably 9 o'clock in the morning, but the humidity has done got up and it's pretty hot, and I turned the fans off so I can talk and you won't hear the fan noise in the background. So we might put an air conditioner in here pretty quick, so at least we'll stay cool when we work. What else is going on here? Wire shelving on the other shelves, we'll do that. But right now the focus of the jib crane, so I think that'll be it for this video. Just a little quick shop update. And we'll go ahead, and the next video you should see is probably going to be starting on the jib crane. So I think that's it. Until next time. See ya.